آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Tonight's lesson, by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in light of our study on the fiqh, the spirituality, the preparation of the blessed, holy, sacred month of Ramadan, we will discuss a famous and infamous, well-known and controversial issue, and that is that which is known as An-Nisfu min Sha'ban, or Laylatul Nisfi min Sha'ban, or Ma Hukmu Ihya'i Laylatul Nisfi min Sha'ban, mid-Sha'ban, middle Sha'ban. What is the ruling or the rulings with regards to the middle of this month, which is Sha'ban? Are the Muslims encouraged, commanded, recommended to recognize the unique nature of this night or of these nights? Because the middle in general is going to be give or take. Give or take. Gregorian, lunar, after Maghrib, 8 hours ahead of time is going to be what? Give or take, which is nisf, half. Everybody clear on this? Whether that be the exact half of the night or whether it is approximate. And obviously, if everything is based off of the sighting of the new moon phase, there is no guarantee that the 15th night is going to be the what? The exact middle, because the month only may be 29 days. You understand this or not? Inshallah, this is logical. No one will, with sense, will reject. So the 15th of Sha'ban could be the 14th of February, give or take. Everybody clear on this? So, is the mid of Sha'ban a special? Is it virtuous, meritorious? Are there more hasanat to be gained by just being alive, making the normal prayers during this night or this day or this time period? Let alone ihya, staying awake at night, not sleeping, making additional salah, making sure that you make your qiyam, giving charity, sadaqah, sweets and things for the Muslims, pastries, right? Treating it as you know, a special holy night. What is the ruling on that? And how can, with our limited knowledge, how can we get to some type of clear conclusion with regards to a great deal of confusion that many Muslims suffer from today? Some saying it's absolutely, yes, virtuous, special night. Others saying the exact opposite, vehemently, no, there's no virtue whatsoever. It's rather a bid'ah to perform worship or even to recognize the night and the day of it being of some type of special virtue or merit, or other details. And is it lawful, هل من الخلاف السائغ بيني وبينك, can me and you agree to disagree on this issue? Is it lawful for us to agree to disagree? Not because we want to disagree, we want to fight, but I just don't see your point. Rather, I believe that my point is accurate. I believe that it is a special night, it should be blah, blah, blah. You say the opposite, but it doesn't mean that I now have to say bad, nasty, negative things about you. And there's no way that I can visit you or you can visit me. We can't cooperate with each other. We have to treat each other like kuffar, basically, because of this issue. Is that lawful? Is that lawful? And is that from the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Is that from the way of the ulama? All right. So as we normally do, obviously we don't have the library with us. So we try to travel with the library. PDFs, and links. PDFs and what? Links. And we try our best here in this masjid. May Allah give the brothers and the sisters here all success towards all good. Whether it's this masjid or any other masjid, we try our best to make the classes, the lectures, the talks ilmi, knowledge based off of ilm, science, and not just talking and yapping and arguing, but based off of some type of what? Some type of substance, and allowing you, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, to benefit, and most importantly, to take something home with you, to build upon, and to expand, and to add to for yourself, by yourself, without me. You don't need me anymore. I've given you the source. I've given you the page number, the volume. Khalas. There's no need of me anymore. All right? That's the way of the disciple. All right? Khair inshallah. So, our first link here is from Wikipedia. All right? In Arabic. Al-Mawsu'atul Hurra. And we've explained many times before the virtue of Wikipedia and the excellence of Wikipedia in English and in Arabic. Okay? So it says, Laylatu Muntasif Sha'ban. All right? Perhaps we'll read from this. We have another beneficial article. Question says, ما حكم ليلة نصف شعبان وما هو الدعاء والصلاة التي تشرع في هذا اليوم. What is the ruling on mid-Sha'ban? Are there supplications to be made? Are there prayers to be made during this night, this day? What is the proper understanding? I have another website here. It's a question, okay, with regards to, this is actually an article discussing that issue. Another beneficial website here with regards to this discussion among the people of knowledge, the ulama of Islam, Laylatul Nisfi min Sha'ban. Very beneficial website as well with regards to Bid'atul Ihtifali bi Laylatul Nisfi min Sha'ban. They were right to the point, right for the jugular vein. It's not a discussion, it's no khilaf, it is an innovation to celebrate that night, period. All right, moving forward, another beneficial website, As-Su'alu سائل يسأل عما ورد في فضل ليلة النصف من شعبان وما حكم إحيائها بالصلاة والذكر والدعاء هل هو مشروع أم لا سواء فعل ذلك جماعة أو أفراد وعن حكم الصيام يوم النصف من شعبان وحده. Very important question. What is the ruling on, listen carefully, ما ورد, the things that are said and mentioned, i.e., those who say that you should fast, you should pray, you should make extra dua, extra dhikr, as if it's like Laylatul Qadr, basically. You should spend all night, you should lose sleep, you should give out pastries and candies to the children, etc. You should be more generous on this day, this night. It's not something which is baseless. ليس له أي أساس وليس له أي أصل. وإنما ورد فيه ما ورد. فرق بين مسألة خالية عن أي ورود، أي أحاديث، أي آثار، ولا مسألة فعلا قد ورد فيها بعض الشيء، صح أم لم يصح. المهم ورد. انتبهوا. There are things that are said, there are hadiths on it. You disagree, you agree, but it's nothing which is totally baseless. All right? So what is the ruling on these things, or what has been said concerning this day, this night? Can we make extra dhikr, salah, dua? And is there a difference of doing it together or doing it by yourself? You say it's a bid'ah to do it together, but can I do it by myself in the house? All right? Khair inshallah. Okay. Very interesting Google search. And there are many things that you learn from a Google search. Many things. How many others have searched what you've searched for? And you get to see what's out there. Good, bad, or ugly. You see what's available, what's widespread, right? The first page. And then, of course, you get to the side searches. People ask, the white days, Ihya night. That's deep. Ihya night. Tafaddal. You can take that one. You say, you meet me for the Ihya night, Aki? Inshallah. Where you going for the Ihya night? Tayyib. No problem. You can take it. Somebody did what? They searched it. Rather, they wrote a what? They wrote an article about it. In Persian and in Arabic. Okay. Mid-Sha'ban. Ramadan. Sha'ban, month importance. Sha'ban, number of days. 15. Everybody get the point? From one thing, we learn what? 10,000 things. And your mind explodes and splices into 1,000 thoughts and a million directions just from one thing. And then you have all of those pieces and you do what? Rewind it and put it what? Back to one. Kada. That's how you learn. And the more intelligent you are naturally, and the more that you enhance your natural intelligence, will allow you to break it up, splice, chop, categorize, and then what? Wrap it back up. And if you're debating someone, when they think of something big and broad, you think of something small and minute. And when they are dealing with small, minute details, you take it back to the what? To the broad. Everyone understand this? Tayyib. What's the second page of that search? All right, what do we have available? Mid-Sha'ban. There's a thing in English which is called what? Mid-Sha'ban. That's the proper terminology for it. What's the ruling on celebrating mid-Sha'ban? Is it a bid'ah to commemorate mid-Sha'ban? Right? Tayyib, moving forward. Sha'ban itself. Obviously, discussing the middle of the month, you have to discuss the month itself. All right. Khair, inshallah. So, let's get started here briefly for our Arabic readers. Inshallah, everybody just stay with me. I'm going to run through it really quickly. The brothers who don't speak Arabic or read Arabic, as I've just shown you, we have plenty of information for you too. Okay? Inshallah. So the article says, ليلة النصف من شعبان هي ليلة الخامس عشر من شهر شعبان وهي الليلة التي تسبق يوم 15 شعبان وتبدأ مع مغرب يوم 14 شعبان وتنتهي مع فجر يوم 15 شعبان. ولهذه الليلة أهمية خاصة في الإسلام لأنه تم فيها تحويل القبلة من بيت المقدس إلى البيت الحرام بمكة المكرمة بالعام الثاني من الهجرة على أرجح الآراء بعد أن صلى المسلمين كذا المفروض مسلمون بعد أن صلى المسلمون قرابة 16 شهرا تقريبا تجاه المسجد الأقصى ولأنه ورد فيها عدة أحاديث نبوية تبين فضلها وأهميتها ويحييها عدد من المسلمين بالصلاة والذكر وتلاوة القرآن والدعاء. So in brief, they say that mid-Sha'ban is the 15th when it starts and when it ends. Maghrib, Fajr, the day coming after the night, the day starting Maghrib time, Laylatul Jum'ah, Masa'ul Jum'ah, just like in English, Christmas Eve, Christmas night, night before, night of. Those are words even in English which show you it's the night before or the actual night in the afternoon, before sunset or after sunset. All right, Al-Muhim. Basically, the author of this article, they state, انتبهوا, ارتكز كاتب هذه المقالة على كم نقاط يعني على كم نقاط يرتكز يعني يحتج ويبرهن على أن لليلة النصف شعبان فضيلة وخاصية. ارتكز على 3 نقاط. النقطة الأولى التي هي إيش؟ هي الليلة التي تم فيها هذا له أهمية لا أحد ينكر هذا على اتفاق وإجماع لا وإنما على أرجح الأقوال. مسألة تلك فيها خلاف. النقطة الثانية أنه إيش؟ ورد فيها أحاديث نبوية ولم يجزم بصحتها وثبوتها وإنما قال ورد. النقطة الثالثة والأخيرة أن المسلمين في العالم الإسلامي يحيونها مع أصل أم بلا أصل. المهم أيوة 3 main points showing that this mid-Sha'ban has a virtue. The first is, many of us, this may be new knowledge, they say it was the night in which the Qibla was changed. The Muslims pray towards Jerusalem, Masjid al-Aqsa. We ask Allah to liberate the masjid and to help our brothers and sisters there. We don't want to say what? Any more than that. Get anybody here in this masjid in any more trouble than which they already are in. Al-Muhim, Allahul Musta'an, it breaks your heart. And it's not just a Palestinian issue or an Arab issue. It's an Islamic issue as Muslim with regards to the Masjid al-Aqsa. And if that was the only virtue or the only reason why you would be required to do something or to say something or to feel something, if that was the only issue, that would be enough. La kifa, that would be more than enough. Let alone this virtue, the Muslims, the blood. If that was nothing else, it's the land which holds al-Masjid al-Aqsa. And these people, we don't care who thinks or feels, say what's the truth. They have clearly shown you their intentions with the masjid. They've clearly shown you that. And the only thing that holds them back is a grand public uproar and outrage and outcry. Everybody would turn, and even the people on our payroll and those whom we have neutered and spaded and taken their manhood and courage away, they would say something. But every time there's what? Creep a little inch and test the waters. Test the waters. Let's see if they're going to jump if we, poke the bear a lot through this raid or this prayer or making this, and then we react and we see that they're getting softer and weaker, and they're getting more normalized and more accustomed to outward disrespect to the masjid. It's a reality, unfortunately. It's like boxing. If I feint you, and every time I feint, you put up your guard. You put up your guard. So it's only going to take a few times, and then next thing you know, your body is now what? Now your body is open. Or if I feint, you drop. So you're moving only according to my what? To my feints. And I'm getting bolder and bolder, more flagrant and less respectful. Allah musta'an. That's a long discussion in itself. Masjid al-Aqsa. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-'aliyyil 'azim. So, number one, Masjid al-Aqsa, the Muslims prayed towards Masjid al-Aqsa, Jerusalem, for 16 months. And then it was changed. They say that the most correct understanding from the ulama is that it happened during the mid-Sha'ban and the second year of the Hijrah. Not too many people even heard of it, unfortunately. Number two, they say there are hadiths, sound or not, but there are hadiths. And the third point that it has a special virtue is that many Muslims commemorate it. Is that a dalil? Maybe a dalil, but for sure it's not going to be on the vanguard. It's not going to be in the front, but it's subordinate. Qarina min al-qara'in, yani. It's something which you're going to have in the third wave of attack. All right? Okay. Min asma'iha laylatul bara'ah, laylatul du'a, laylatul qismah, laylatul ijabah, al-laylatul mubarakah, laylatul shafa'ah, laylatul ghufrani wal-'itqi min al-niran. These are some of the names of this night. Al-Bara'a, يعني براءة من إيش؟ فسيه في الأله ليس كذا يا أخي. براءة من النفاق يعني. والله أعلم. The night of freedom from hypocrisy. The night of dua, supplication. The night of qismah. إيش معنى قسمة يعني؟ Al-arzaqu, your nasib. Who's going to live, who's going to die, who's going to get married, who's going to get divorced, who's going to win, who's going to lose, who's going to be healthy, who's going to be sick, who's going to be smiling, who's going to be sad and depressed when the things are decreed and mandated. Also, it's called Laylatul Ijabah, like Sa'atul Ijabah. Any dua you make, inshallah, it will be accepted. Laylatul Shafa'ah, the night of intercession, in which perhaps your dua for intercession on the Day of Judgment will be accepted. and Laylatul Ghufran, the night of forgiveness, and the night of emancipation from hell, the night in which your neck will be manumitted from being a denizen of the fire. وقيل إن للملائكة في السماء ليلتي عيد كما أن للمسلمين في الأرض يوم عيد، فعيد الملائكة ليلة البراء وهي ليلة النصف من شعبان وليلة القدر، وعيد المؤمنين يوم الفطر ويوم الأضحى، ولهذا سميت ليلة النصف من شعبان ليلة عيد الملائكة، وتسمى أيضا ليلة التكفير، ليس التكفير والتبديع تكفير طيب تضليل كما يفعل يعني ليلة التكفير وليلة الحياة وليلة الشفاعة وليلة المغفرة وليلة العتق وليلة القسم والتقدير. Now some say, this is very interesting, that the angels have 2 days of Eid. The angels in heaven, they have 2 days of Eid. Just like the Muslims on earth have 2 days of Eid. Our 2 days obviously are Fitr and they, some say that the angels' day or night of Eid is mid Sha'ban and Laylatul Qadr. That's getting deep now. If you want to go back to the kiddie pool, you go, but the water is getting what? It's getting deeper now, all right? Tayyib, we're going to the deep end of the pool, okay? Tayyib, moving forward. Other names of Sha'ban, the night of Takfir, meaning sins being burnt away and wiped away. The night of Taqdir, things being decreed, mandated, etc. Al-Hadith al-Warida fiha. What hadiths regarding this night? And this is Sulb al-Mawdu'. This is the vertebrae of everything now, okay? He says here, ليلة النصف من شعبان ورد في فضلها عدة أحاديث غالبها ضعيفة أو موضوعة وقليل منها اختلف أهل المعرفة بالحديث. لم يقل الفقهاء والوعاظ والكتب، وإنما قال أهل المعرفة أصحاب الحديث الأئمة. المرجع هو قولهم هم، ليس هذا وذاك، وإنما أهل المعرفة المتخصصين في الحديث الأئمة النقاد. أهل المعرفة بالحديث في صحتها فضعفها الأكثرون. Says here, Laylatul Nisfi min Sha'ban, there are several hadiths regarding this month. Most of them are weak or fabricated. Most. Didn't say all, but he said what? Most of them. That's a point of, just think about that. At best, okay? Then they say, and a few of them, only what? Qaleel. Only a few of them, the scholars of hadith differ. Are they sound or not? So if we had 10 hadiths regarding mid Sha'ban, 8 of them are what? Discarded. Extremely weak. No, 2 of them, there may be potato or potato. Imam Ahmad said this, Sheikh Al-Bani said that. Not saying Imam Ahmad and Sheikh Al-Bani are being pitted against each other. All right, just making an example. Okay? So therefore, before you move forward, calling it an absolute bid'ah with no regard, somebody may be dependent upon what they consider to be sound. All right, طيب. What are the hadith? Okay, so states here, من أطلق من علماء الحديث أنه لم يصح في ليلة النصف من شعبان hadith. So they mention some names of scholars. They will mention briefly, نمر عليها بسرعة. أبو شامة المقدسي قال ناقلا عن ابن دحية، وقال في كتاب ما جاء في شهر شعبان من تاليف أيضا، قال أهل التعديل والتجريح ليس في حديث ليلة النصف من شعبان حديث صحيح. جزم. فتحفظوا عباد الله من مفتر يروي لكم حديثا موضوعا يسوقه في معرض الخير، فاستعمال الخير ينبغي أن يكون مشروعا من النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم، فإذا صح أنه كذب خرج من المشروعية يكتب بماء العينين. هذه قاعدة. الخير إنما فيما صح عن النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام، ليس في الموضوعات والأكاذيب والبواطيل أبدا أبدا. قال رحمه الله تعالى: فاستعمال الخير ينبغي أن يكون مشروعا من النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم، فإذا صح أنه كذب خرج من المشروعية وكان مستعمله من خدم الشيطان لاستعماله حديثا على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لم ينزل الله به من سلطان. ابن العرب المعافري قال: ليس في ليلة النصف من شعبان حديث يعول عليه، لا في فضلها ولا في نسخ الآجال فيها، فلا تلتفتوا إليها. القرطبي قال: وليس في ليلة النصف من شعبان حديث يعول عليه، لا في فضلها، إلى آخره. علي محفوظ، عبد العزيز بن باز، حتى المعاصرين. So many scholars, they have frankly stated there's nothing authentic. Absolutely nothing. No sound hadiths with regards to this night. Then the muallif of this article, he mentions some of these ahadith. إن الله ليطلع في ليلة النصف من شعبان فيغفر لجميع خلقه إلا لمشرك أو مشاحن، يعني الذي بينه وبين أخيه شيء. رواه البيهقي في شعب الإيمان، والطبراني في المعجم الكبير، وفي المعجم الأوسط، وفي مسند الشاميين. انتبهوا، هذا لم يرد في أحد أو كتب الستة، لا موطأ مالك ولا مسند أحمد ولا شيء من الأصول المشهورة المعتمدة، وإنما ورد في بعض المصادر التي تجمع الأفراد والغرائب والمنكرات، مع أن فيها ما صح كذلك. طيب تفضلي، بسم الله. خير إن شاء الله. حديث عائشة أن الله تعالى ينزل ليلة النصف من شعبان إلى السماء الدنيا فيغفر لأكثر من عدد شعر غنم كلب. رواه أحمد والترمذي ومحمد وابن ماجه. المضعفون وإلته عند المحدثين. Then he goes on to explain why these hadiths are weak, why they're extremely weak. الشرح of those hadiths. من رأى من العلماء أن هذه الأحاديث بمجموعها تدل أن لفضيلتها أصلا. انتبهوا، على السنة يذكرون ما لهم وما عليهم. It's unfair to just mention one side and not to mention the other side, and to give it its due, just, fair time to speak and to defend itself. So there are other scholars who say, such as Abdurrahman Mubarak Furi, the commentator of Jami' Tirmidhi, well-known, famous, relied upon book, باب ما جاء في ليلة النصف من شعبان. فهذه الأحاديث بمجموعها حجة على من زعم أنه لم يثبت في فضيلة ليلة النصف من شعبان شيء، والله تعالى أعلم. He said, Abdurrahman Mubarak Furi is a great Indian scholar, a commentator of Jami' Tirmidhi, he said, these hadiths collectively, and that's a long discussion with regards to Ahl al-Hadith in India and the rich heritage of Ahl al-Hadith in that area. And the history that you can read about, the great illustrious scholars that came from those lands. He states these hadiths collectively, Talib, he says what? They reject and rebuke those who say that there is nothing and is totally baseless and is nothing authentic. He says collectively. Individually, but collectively they're okay. وقال الشيخ عطية صقر في فتاوى الأزهر: هل ليلة النصف من شعبان لها فضل؟ والجواب: قد ورد في فضلها أحاديث صحح بعض العلماء بعضا منها وضعفها آخرون، وإن أجازوا الأخذ بها في فضائل الأعمال. وقال بعد سرد الأحاديث: بهذه الأحاديث وغيرها يمكن أن يقال إن لليلة النصف من شعبان فضلا، وليس هناك نص يمنع ذلك، فشهر شعبان له فضل. And then they go on to mention their proof, so on and so forth, what prayers are to be made, supplications, etc., etc., etc. Al-Muhim, this is a discussion. All right, let's move forward. Let's take something in English, inshallah. Who's going to be our volunteer reader? Fadl Akhi, Bismillah. Mid Sha'ban. Muslim holiday. Observed by, Alameen, pay attention. I need you to focus, Ya Akhi. Okay? Repeat that sentence, please. Observed by Shia and both of them observe it. The night, what? Following the sunset on the 14th day. The same night, Shaba'i Bara'a. Overview. All right? Qadr and forgiveness. Keep going. 12 are Shiites. The big dogs. Okay? All right? Not the little small ones, but the what? The heavyweights. The heavyweight Shiites. The real deal. Mulazim. The main fight card. Not the lightweights, not the featherweights. We want to see the what? The big dogs going at it. The 12 are Shia Muslims. Fadl. Muhammad al-Mahdi. Who is that? The biggest of them. Tayyib, Qala. He said. Oh man, things might get a little sticky. Fadl, etymology. So before we move forward, it's a special night according to Sunni and Shiites. That should also, y'all need to just think about it, okay? It's a birthday of this Mahdi and this one and that. Yani, Fadl. The 15th of Sha'ban. But that has nothing to do with me, Akhi. What the 12ers are doing, what the Shia are doing has nothing to do with what? While I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I believe it to be sound. I follow Imam Shafi. I have nothing to do with them. If the Christians love and respect Christ, it doesn't mean what? You understand this? It doesn't mean that I have to, but it does mean that you're not going to love and respect Christ in their what? In their way. Something that's similar to them. Everybody clear on this or not? Right? It's very important. Keep going. All right, so we have other languages. People have put into their own languages and their own ways of saying it. Origins, the base for celebrating. Listen carefully. Everyone, please listen carefully. Raise your voice as much as you can. Is not without what? Dispute. There is dispute. There is what? There is dispute. Whoa, slow down. You said has primarily been an issue of interpreting the Quran and classifying the hadith. As far as classifying the hadiths, then we've covered that. Where is it in the Quran? Mid-Sha'ban. Is Mid-Sha'ban in the Quran? They're differing over the tafsir So what are the verses that are used by some scholars to prove the virtue and the excellence of this night? Now that's a whole different discussion. It's a whole different what? Whole different discussion. So we have to come back to that. What are those verses? What could possibly be the verse or verses that talk about the virtue of mid-Sha'ban? Okay, that's a whole different discussion now. And this goes to show you the benefit of reading and cross. You get different things in different what? Different places. Fadal. What surah? 44. Mahad, Fadal. From your memory. The top of your head. Indeed, we sent it down during a blessed night. Yalla, Hamim. Let's go. What you got? Inna fi laylatin mubarakatin. Inna kunna munzirin. Yufraqu kullu amrin hakim. Indeed, we sent it down during a blessed night, Allah says. Similar to Inna fi Laylatul Qadr. That's clear. Laylatul Qadr, clear. But the other ayah, it doesn't say that it's what? It says Mubarak. No, it says, but it says Mubarakah. So one could say that's Laylatul Qadr, and one could say it's Fahim now. Alright? Okay. In this night, during this night, what happens? What does Allah say? Everything is what? Decided precisely. Nothing is an accident. Nothing is a coincidence. You were meant to meet this person. You were meant to miss this person. This was meant to happen to you in your life. You were meant to live this long. There's no accidents. There's no, you were lucky. Every detailed matter is decided during that night. That's a powerful what? It's a powerful night. Keep moving. According to, not specific enough to verify the beauty of Wikipedia and of an online article. You don't have to blindly follow anyone. You what? You refer to the source. Why isn't the source mentioned? So therefore, no problem. I'm going to go to Ibn Kathir, English, Arabic, and do what? Do my due diligence. We're going to get there. So 44, what verse? 3 and 4. We're going to see what Ibn Kathir says. The more, listen carefully. Okay. Ibn Kathir says the most, the biggest, the strongest, the heaviest thing in the scale, aywa, al-arjah, is that it is Laylatul. But there are others who say, I would understand this. Moving forward. Then hadiths. All right. Bismillah. And some hadiths. The specialty of the night. اختلاف صحيح or ضعيف or موضوع حسن لغيره etc. Okay, the term and the envious, interested. Allah musta'an, mushahin, that's how they translate it. You have a problem with your brother. Maybe the source of the problem that you have, why you haven't spoken to your brother or sister is envy. Very dangerous. Yalla, اقرأ. We read in English, brother. The Arabic is done for now. Bismillah. That's the benefit. Faddal akhi. No. Read Ibn Majah. Bazaar. These are the hadith collectors. And it was classified what? Daif by Al-Bani. Another hadith says, Allahu Akbar. Aisha, she said, do you fear that Allah and His Messenger will do injustice to you? Has Allah wronged you? Has Allah oppressed you? Have I wronged you? Aisha said, no, but rather I thought that you might have gone to your wife. A long discussion in itself. Aisha accepted and understood what it was. Her feelings and emotions were there, but the rules were what? Above everything. If it was up to me, I would prefer. However, rules are the rules. I don't know, we're not here to talk about that right now. It's just showing you a fa'idah from the hadith. Naam. And the reality of the Sahaba. Aisha radhiyallahu anha was a human being. She wasn't a robot, she was a human. She had feelings and emotions, but she was a believer. Any man is supposed to trump your emotions and your feelings. You're supposed to submit to what Allah and His Messenger tell you to submit to. And your emotions are to come after Allah and His Messenger. How much better would the world be? How safer would this world be for everyone if we could only but understand that, let alone implement it. Just understanding that my emotions have a place. I'm a human. Allah made me with what? With skin. I'm not a stone or a rock. I have a heart, I have a mind, I have feelings. We all do. But there's a place and there's a time. And the people today in 2025, 2024, they're emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is something well established in Islam. You using your intelligence to control your emotions. But it doesn't mean that you ignore and neglect what? I even understand this. Tayyib, fadal. Allah descended on the earth. What does the hadith state that? Does it say that? Does the hadith in Arabic state that? Keep going. Muhaddiths. He's the kadhab. So a horrible liar, a great liar. All right. So, how much birthday of Muhammad al-Mahdi? Fadl Mahdi, you read that. Jazakallah khair, akhi. It's Mahad's turn. Fadl. Say it again, please. Birthday. I need you to. We need to get this on camera. You saying this? Allah Mubarak, he's born on that blessed day, That has to mean something. It has to mean something. It has to mean something. Fadl. Allah, He will reappear. The second coming, Naam. Tayyib. Like Christmas, New Year's, and the relation between Shia, Rafida, and Kadhib, and Wada, fabrication. You're like, what? Brown on rice, or butter on a biscuit, Gravy on stuffing. Tight, related customs. Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan. Allahu Akbar. The Salafi Arabs do not celebrate this holiday. Clearly showing you the scholastic bankruptcy of some people. What does it have to do with Arabs? And what does it have to do with Salafi? Right? Everything that we read and studied, Ibn Kathir, to go to show that people, they have their own what? Agendas. That was totally what? Totally unnecessary. Even though we just read in the same article, what did we say? It's not what? So if it's not without dispute, why are you only singling out the Salafi Arabs? And that's not even true. Al-Muhim, we learn, right? This is a place of learning. Keep going. Arabs with Sufi heritage, law, and Shiites in Iraq. Allahu Akbar. Who doesn't like candy? I would like candy if you gave it to me for free. Why not? Chocolate, whatever, Bismillah. Mulazim, we agree or disagree on that? Who doesn't like candy? Oh, cool. There's nothing wrong with it, brother. Don't be so harsh. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with kids running around, ringing the doorbell, getting free candy. What? Shaddud, ya akhi. Why you got to be so hardcore all of the time? Smile, huh? So the brother told me at the masjid. I was in last week in Ohio. He said, your khutbah, he said, you need to. He said, please smile, brother. Maybe I do need to smile more often. Nothing is by accident or coincidence. Fadal. Communal zikr, it says. Zikr, not dhikr. Allahu Akbar. An ustad, huh? Otherwise known in Java. This tradition is rarely followed in Indonesia, but it is widely followed in Aceh, West Sumatra, and South. All right, move forward. Gregorian dates. When is it? 14th of. This is based off of what? Calculation or? All right. Al-Muhim, you guys can go back to that article whenever you like. Khairan inshallah. Briefly. Let's see. طيب قال ابن رجب وفي الباب أحاديث أخرى فيها ضعف وقال الشيخ الإسلام ابن تيمية في اقتضاء الصراط المستقيم مخالفة أصحاب الجحيم وقد روي في فضلها أي ليلة النصف من شعبان من الأحاديث المرفوعة والآثار ما يقتضي أنها ليلة مفضلة. No problem. Shaykh Islam ibn Taymiyyah is not the Quran or the Sunnah. He's not the consensus. But if you blast someone, you also have to blast him. وقال, he said, ومن العلماء من السلف من أهل المدينة وغيرهم من الخلف من أنكر فضلها وطعن في الأحاديث الواردة فيها كحديث إلى أن قال وقال لا فرق إلى أن قال لكن الذي عليه كثير من أهل العلم أو أكثرهم من أصحابنا يعني الحنابلة وغيرهم على تفضيلها وعليه يدل نص أحمد لتعدد الأحاديث الواردة فيها وما يصدق ذلك من الآثار السلفية إن ورد عن التابعين وعن الصحابة أنهم كانوا وقد روي بعض فضائلها في المسانيد والسنن وإن كان قد وضع فيها أشياء أخرى. Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, he says Many of the ulama of the past said absolutely no. No hadith or sound, leave it be. And there are many other great scholars. He mentions Ahmed, what Ahmed said. Many others, they say that the hadiths collectively and the narrations from the Sahaba and the Tabi'een prove that the night is mufaddala. It has a virtue. All right. Then the authors of this article, they go on to quote, قلت وقول الأزاعي هو الذي اختاره الشيخ سام تيمية ففي الاختيارات من نصه كان من السلف من يصلي فيها لكن الاجتماع فيها لإحيائها في المساجد بدعة وكذلك الصلاة الألفية. Prayer at night, Shaykh Islam ibn Taymiyyah, he said there were many of the Salaf who did it. But coming together in congregation, communal zikr, he said what? No. Pay attention to the details. Ignorance and details don't mix. Ignorant people don't like details. They want it to be black or white. They hate the color gray. They want to be a fanatic for it or against it. And they don't want to think, and they hate you for thinking and saying, wait a second now, I'll agree to that this is wrong, but however, they don't want that. So there are details. Al-Muhim, fasting that day. وَأَمَّا الصِّيَامُ يَوْمُ النِّصْفِ. Can you fast that day? فَمَكْرُوهٌ. قال الشيخ الإسلام في الاقتضاء أما صوم يوم النصف مفردا فلا أصل له بل إفراده مكروه. All right, that's a very long discussion. The last thing that we want to mention tonight is some of the kalam of the people of knowledge with regards to the tafsir of Jathiyah or Dukhan or Jathiyah. Which one? إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَاهُ فِي لَيْلَةٍ مُبَارَكَةٍ. Which surah? Hamim, you sure about that, Nafis? Dukhan wala Jathiyah? All right. طيب. Now listen carefully. They say روي عن عكرمة وهو تلميذ من؟ ابن عباس. روي عن عكرمة رحمه الله أنه قال في تفسير قوله تعالى إن أنزلناه في ليلة مباركة أن هذه الليلة هي ليلة النصف من شعبان يبرم فيها أمر السنة وينسخ الأحياء من الأموات ويكتب الحاج فلا يزاد فيهم أحد ولا ينقص منهم أحد. الله أكبر. Ikrimah, he said, it is mentioned that Ikrimah, he said, during that night, the living from the dead is being plain and clear, and even the pilgrims. Whoever is meant to make Hajj is going to be decreed that night. Not one extra nor one less. That's very interesting. Food for thought. You think about you're fulfilling your destiny by making Hajj. It's not an accident or coincidence. You saved up money, you got a seat. Allah meant for you to be here. And Allah didn't mean for you to be there. It's food for thought, huh? قال ابن كثير. Inshallah, we have a reader. Anybody would like to read? Anybody would like to read, inshallah? من يتبرع بالقراءة؟ لا أحد. I thought the Muslims were generous in Bayan. Wahid, I thought it was, that's what I heard. I heard this was, the place of like limitless generosity. Nobody is generous enough to read. Bismillah. تفضل. قال ابن كثير. معلش عفوا سؤال. Are women allowed to read in mudarasa? الجواب باختصار نعم باختصار. أما عن بعض التفاصيل فكأن المسألة مبنية على مسألة أخرى التي هي هل صوت المرأة عورة أم لا؟ فمن قال بأن صوتها عورة طبعا سيجيب لا يجوز للمرأة أن ترفع صوتها حتى لتلاوة القرآن أمام شيخ أو مقرئ فضلا عن درس أو محاضرة. ومن قال بأن صوت المرأة على نوعين ضربين، هناك صوت عادي وهو الصوت الذي تتكلم به أو ترفع في بعض الأحيان في السوق أو في قضية أمام القاضي أو أمام إمام أو لحاجة من الحاجات المباحة. فضلا أو النوع الثاني الصوت الذي هو الصوت المعطر، الصوت الذي تتكلم به وتحكي لزوجها أو لبعض زميلاتها وصديقاتها سيختلف، والقول الراجح الصحيح والله أعلم العلم عند الله تعالى أن صوت المرأة ليس بعورة، بل هناك من الأدلة المذكورة اللي وردت في القرآن والسنة مما يدل على أن صوتها يجوز، لكن بلا تزيين وبلا يعني تجاوز للحد. فباختصار في حالة المدارسة مثل مدارستنا هذه يجوز بإذن الله تعالى، ونحب من الجميع المشاركة، ونحب من الجميع يكون التعاون. أتعلم منكم وقد تتعلمون مني شيء، قد لكن أستفيد منكم. فدائما نحث في دروسنا ومحاضراتنا على المشاركة، لا الصمت والجلوس والقعود لا أبدا، هذا ليس ستايل تبعنا. ستايلنا هو الفاعلية. نعم، يكون حي. نعم, that's our style. We want everyone to participate, men and women, of course, with respect. You're not going to say something disrespectful. I'm not going to, inshallah, say something what? Disrespectful. A man is going to be respectful. A woman is going to be respectful. You're not going to say something crazy or wild. But at the same time, we're here to learn. I'm not here to lecture you. This is not a lecture. This isn't a lecture. This is a class, a knowledge-based class. There are thousands of lectures you can listen to. There are other speakers who give you romantic, sensational lectures. That's fine. This is not an Iman booster. This is an actual what? It's a class. And me as the teacher, the instructor, I request, encourage, and I demand that you what? That's why I call on people. That's why we ask questions. That's why we say trick things, calling on the saints. Now, some brothers, unfortunately, hopefully didn't have bad thoughts of us. Hopefully not. I hope so. They have the best thoughts of me. Didn't think that I was saying that a Muslim should call upon a saint. But to get the point of the So therefore, in brief, can a woman raise her voice in the class? Can she participate in this class? Absolutely. There's no question about that. As long as it's what? Respectful. And of course, a woman's voice is lawful to be heard by a non-mahram, as long as she isn't what? How she talks to her husband is not like how she's going to talk to a man in the marketplace. I need 2 kilograms of these dates. Somebody calls the house, assalamu alaikum, is brother such and such home? No, he's not here. Can I take a message? All right, everyone understand this? As the law clearly states, فَلَا فَيَطْمَعَ الَّذِي فِي قَلْبِهِ مرض. طيب أكمل الآية. وقلنا هذا النص في المسألة. وقلنا إيش؟ قولا معروفا. Allah told the believing women not to adorn their voices. Don't speak softly and romantically or erotically. Don't talk like that with men who aren't your husbands. You can't talk like that. But when you do speak, do what Allah says? قولا معروفا. Respect. You don't have to be rude. And many sisters, they think that's sunnah to be rude. All right? So in brief, there's nothing wrong with that. بإذن الله تعالى. طيب بسم الله معلش تفضل. قال ابن كثير. يعني قال قول بعيد. فللعلماء أحدهما إلى آخره. Inshallah, that's enough for us. So I don't think that, I think that the summary is clear, inshallah. I think it's beyond clear, in my humble opinion. If it's not clear, then that's a different story. I think that the summary is what? Very clear on what you should and shouldn't, can and cannot do during this time, what choice you have to do. No one is saying that it's obligatory, that you have to pray at night, that you have to fast, that you have to give out candies and sweets, that you have to make communion, zikr. Now, at best, it will be something which is optional. At what? At best, it will be what? Optional. Virtuous deeds, like making tarawih, you don't have to. And at worst, it will be something that's not from the deen, not from the sunnah, no authentic proof to state it. So therefore, the night of the 15th of Sha'ban, the 14th, is like what? It will be like what? Any other night. And to give it special attention or virtue or worship would be an innovation. All right? Or one may say, there are some things which are, and other things which are not. That's the summary. That's the what? That's the summary. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best what's correct. Thank you very much for your time, for your attention, for your respect, and for your participation. If there are any questions, we'll try to take them now. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Wa yakum. Faddal. Jazakallah khairan. There's no question. Sha'ban is the buffer before Ramadan to get yourself in preparation, to get yourself prepared and ready. Month of Ramadan is what? Right around the corner. Right around the corner. So it's time to really get yourself in gear. Khair inshallah. Anything from online, Talib? Bismillah. Yes, inshallah, I would love to. I would love to do more. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy with regards to the times, the responsibilities. I would love to, give more and do more in this masjid, in this community. I would love to. I would love to. Inshallah, make dua for Allah to make it easy. Bidnillahi ta'ala. Maybe Yusuf can work something out, huh? Come get me from Queens, Yusuf. Huh? From Shaolin, huh? Inshallah, all right? Bidnillah. Tayyib. Any other questions? Faddal. When and not, ya akhi. Go to the farmer's market. Huh? If you can't bring the best, at least bring something. Fair enough? Khair inshallah. Nothing? Faddal. Bismillah. Okay. No, not at all. In my opinion, I don't think it's advanced. We clearly explain it. We simplify it. We go over it. How many times I repeat the same thing? Yeah, and we have the English sources too. Now, obviously, reading the Arabic sources, that's for certain people. So the class right now, the class is like my class. I can't say other people's classes. Even my khutbahs, whenever I'm speaking, I try my best. I don't claim to be perfect, but I try my best to look at it like a city or a state, a country. There are different people in this country. I'm the leader of the country. I have to try my best to cater to what? No doubt about that. It's unfair to take everything down to the basic, simple ABCs. Because there's some people who are. And it's unfair for me to only worry about the people who are advanced, or the disciples, or this student, or this brother, or this sister in Arabic. So we try to give what? So my general policy, and I got this from one of my teachers in Medina, with regards to the final exam. He would say that the majority of the final exam, the majority, maybe 70%, is for anyone who studied. Not the most advanced, not the most intelligent, not the one who stood up for 5 nights drinking Red Bull or Power Horse or whatever. But anyone who happened to study, is no way you can fail this exam. This is what he would say. You may not get an A, you may not get Mumtaz, but if you studied, you cannot what? Fail. And then there's another percentage, let's say maybe 20% for people who are a little more diligent, for those who want to get B plus, an A minus. And then he said there's a small percentage of the tests, maybe 10% little mutafawwiq, for those people who are what? Elite, and they want elite grades. In my humble opinion, I think that's more than fair. That's what? More than fair. That's how the class is. The class is generally made for what? Everybody. Jazakallah khairan. Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Jazakallah khairan. Barakallah fikum. So it's for everybody. And my last piece of advice to you, akhi, because for me or you, this may be the first time I even heard of this stuff, let alone seen it and it being explained. Push yourself a little bit. Don't get scared. Don't allow yourself to say, oh, it's too much for me. I learn something new every single day. It's something that I read new. I hear that, wow, I never even knew that. So just stay consistent. And if there were no benefits that you got from this class, except for you were in the masjid for 1 hour with your Muslim brothers mentioning Allah's name, that would be what? More than enough. I was trapped in the masjid. Think how many things you could be doing right now. Even if they're not haram, just how many things? Politics, sports, blah, blah, blah. But I'm in the house of Allah. So this is from the virtue of giving da'wah and teaching and being involved in knowledge, is that I'm locked in the masjid. If I want to go outside, I would. I couldn't. So just think about that every day you sit in a class, every week. That's 1 week, 1 day in which you've guaranteed, I can't be in the dunya, I can't be. Think about that. So there are many, many benefits, okay? Jazakallah khairan. Fadda, akhi, no problem. Tips on retaining? Many tips. Many tips. Many tips. We have books on the subject on how to study, coming from English background. Okay? We have countless lectures and countless classes. What I'll give you now is the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, is that whenever he went to a people and he gave salams to them, he would say the salutations how many times? 3 times. And whenever he would speak, وَإِذَا تَكَلَّمَ بِكَلِمَةٍ أَعَادَهَا ثَلَاثًا حَتَّى يُفْهَمْ عَنْهُ أَوْ كَمَا قَالَ. He would say it 3 times until the people understood it. Hadith men. We just read this before the class. It's Anas, collected by, what book were we reading? Sahih Bukhari. So one of the ways of retaining the info is repeating it. So right now, I've recorded the class. Let me listen to it again. Let me driving to work, eating, doing whatever. Killing 2 birds, 1 stone. Working out, jogging, whatever. I'm at home vacuuming the carpet, listening. My AirPods, benefiting. And then you listen to a 3rd time, and I guarantee you, if you repeat something 3 times, things are going to stick on your brain. Just think about it like, it may be a bad example, however, cholesterol. You eat the cholesterol, what happens? Does it clog your arteries immediately? What happens? Bits and pieces, and then the blood flows what? It don't stop, but it does what? A little slower. So the little small piece of cholesterol, it what? It sticks. And then another one what? And the next thing you know, that's it. You keep repeating it, you stay consistent, and then, the thing that I couldn't pronounce, now I what? I can say it easily. The thing that seems so big is now basic. So repetition, consistency, writing it down, and taking what you can take. You don't have to have 100%. I don't got it 100%. I'm still learning. As I read it to you, I'm what? I'm benefiting, but I learned something tonight. I never heard that before. I got something. I feel closer to Allah. So you got to be consistent. You got to repeat. And most importantly, You got to learn how to break it down into small, bite-sized pieces. And Allah knows best. Jazakallah khairan. We'll take a few. Fadal. Question is regarding shortening the khutbah. مَإِنَّةٌ مِّن فِقْهِهِ إِنَّ طُولَ صَلَاةَ الرَّجُلِ وَقِصْرَ خُطْبَتِهِ مَإِنَّ يعني علامة لفقهه. The authentic hadith collected in the Sahih. When a man's prayer is long and his khutbah is short, it's a sign that he has true understanding. How do we understand this hadith? It's clear. During the Jum'ah service, the prayer should be relatively long. And the khutbah should be relatively short. Now what does that mean? 10, 20 minutes of prayer, khutbah only 5 minutes? Based off of this hadith, not what the imams and the fuqaha say, just the text, is that there shouldn't be a 50-50 ratio. Nor should the salah be 30% and the khutbah 70%. Rather, at best, it should be 60-40. Khutbah should be 60%. The salah should be 60%, and the khutbah should be what? 40. And if you turn the knob more, it will be what? So the khutbah should not be a long, dramatic, romantic speech. That's a widespread thing most imams do. 45 minutes, an hour. La, abadan. A quick, short, sharp reminder, and then the salah. All right. Another way of looking at it is that this is subjective and relative on what's short and what's long. There are many prayers that we consider long, but if you read the authentic hadiths, the Prophet would stand and recite how many verses? 60 verses, 100 verses. How many people are reciting that? So one may say that a 30-minute khutbah isn't really too long. A 20-minute khutbah isn't really what? Too long. So it's going to depend, let alone there are other ahadith in which the prayer and the salah and the khutbah of the Prophet kanat qastan. It wasn't too long, wasn't too short. So therefore, in brief, salah should be relatively longer. The khutbah should be relatively short. It shouldn't be too long. It shouldn't be a hardship upon the people. And if you can't make your point in 10 minutes, in most cases, you're not going to make it in 20 minutes. Don't ever forget that as a public speaker. People ask me in public speaking, if you can't make your point in 10 minutes, 20 minutes, public speaking, my humble opinion, I've been doing it for about 20 years, maybe more, longer now. For sure longer than 20 years. I'm not the best public speaker, but I've learned a few things. A few nicks and knacks, tricks of the trade. The most important part of a public speech, in my humble opinion, is the first 120 seconds. The first 2 minutes of the speech. The attention that you grabbed, the respect that you demanded from the audience has to happen in the initial 2 minutes of your speech. If you don't grab their attention within 2 minutes, if you don't command their respect or their hatred, but if somebody hates you, in most cases, they're going to what? That happens early on. If it takes 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it may take you time to warm up, but you don't got their attention yet until 10 minutes, you don't, in most cases, it's not going to happen. So there's no need for a huge, long speech, yani, if you're doing it the right way. Wallahu alam. Fata. Next question. No personalities in the live Q&A. No mention of personalities, good or bad. The rules are the rules. Fadda. First and last name. Next question. Sallallahu alaihi wa sallam wa baraka ala abdihi wa rasulihi nabiyina wa imamina Muhammad.